setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. Glad you joined me. It's a beautiful day out today here in Palm Beach. Happy to be alive. Happy to know that you're here with me. So our conversation today is going to be kind of a boring one, but it's something that needs to be discussed because it has to do with Elizabeth Warren in her taxation increases and all this free stuff. So our conversation today, free stuff that costs a lot of money. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Gosh, I tell you, it seems like the older that I get up, the harder it is to get up. I mean, the older I get, the harder it is to get up. I mean, I didn't want to get up this morning. I wanted to stay in bed. Fridays are normally my days off. I work 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. But Fridays are my days off, but I end up working anyway in my office. It's the quiet time. The phones are not ringing. No one's beeping me. No one's texting me. So it's kind of quiet. And I like that because I can get a lot of things that I haven't been able to get done during the week to get done. Today I'm spending time on writing my new book, and I'm 26 chapters in, and I've got about probably another 40 some chapters to go. But it's one of those items in life that I really enjoy doing. I like sitting down and just writing. Now, what I'm basically doing, and I'm kind of cheating at this new book, is I'm taking the blog that I write every day, and I'm taking that, and that's becoming my new book because I have done a blog almost every single day. But I'm taking it because my blogs are very short every day, and I'm expanding on it so it fits onto one page at a time. So I'm kind of cheating, but it's kind of good cheating because I'm turning good material into a book, which isn't bad, right? So today, the rest of the day, I'm spending, after I get done with this, I'm going to be writing. So let's talk about Senator Warren's proposed tax increases. I mean, basically that's what her whole campaign is on, is increasing taxes to pay for free stuff. Free education, free medical, free, rides to the post office. I don't know. Everything that she wants to do is free. But unfortunately, free always costs a whole bunch of money. And it's usually your money and it's my money that's paying for all this free stuff for everyone else. Now, I have never been able to get anything from the government. I have never been able to get any free stuff from the government. Never have. But everybody else seems to think that they should get free stuff. But I have survived all these years on working hard and being driven to do something and try new things. I'm a capitalist at heart, and I believe that the way that you make money is by working really, really hard at something that you love and that you want to do in life. But she wants to propose a whole bunch of tax increases that's going to affect you and me now. Now, when they say middle class, what are they talking about? What wage rates are they talking about? Because we found out under Obama, millionaires started at $250,000. That's where millionaires, the wealthy, began to get taxed high under Obama and Obamacare. So Senator Warren's policy proposals include a wide variety of tax increases. I mean, it is really out there. But the problem is that these take a hit. They take a hit on families, businesses, the estates that you're going to inherit. So contrary to her claims, many of these plans would in fact raise taxes on you and me, because we are the middle class. Now, one of the dumb things that she keeps bringing up, and Bernie Sanders keeps doing this also, is that this wealth tax, which has never worked in any other country, never has, fails every single time. It doesn't raise enough money, and they're trying to penalize, because the socialist system is everybody has to be equal, right? Everybody has to share everything. So what do? They pound on the people who have either built something, made something, inherited something, who have proved themselves and have made something out of their lives, and their wealth has grown from what they have done. That's what capitalism is all about. But they do not believe in capitalism. They do not believe in your success. Now, a lot of you are getting up to that point where you're making good money. Well, they don't like that, because they want everybody to be on the same playing field. Everybody making that $15 an hour, I think. So let's talk about this wealth tax, okay? One of Senator Warren's signature tax proposals that she's trying to sell you on, like an old used car salesperson, is her support for creating a new wealth tax in the United States. It would assess a tax on net assets above $50 million at a rate of 2%, with the rate increasing to 3% for those with more than $1 billion in wealth. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, is $2.75 trillion over a decade. So what's wrong with that? Well, once again, she doesn't think that people should have that much money. She doesn't. Now, this comes from a lady who has tried to make money. One, getting paid a huge salary for teaching one single class. And she's been flipping houses. And she admits that she's flipped houses to make extra money. But she doesn't want you to have that money. It's okay for her. It's okay for her to have a big salary out of Congress, out of the Senate. Get all of her book tours and speaking engagements that she gets paid for. It's okay for her to make money, but it's not okay for you and me to make any money, or for the wealthy to make any more money. That's just terrible. So we have a tax being proposed in other countries such as Sweden and Norway and these other countries that are very socialist. It has not worked. In fact, they even abandoned it. They abandoned it because it just did not bring in the revenue that they thought it was going to bring in. And plus it attacked people, and they started moving out of those countries to countries where it was more tax favorable. That's what happens. Once you start raising taxes, people leave. That's what happened several years ago. When the taxes went up, people started going to other countries. They did not want to be in America because the taxes were too high. So they abandon in America and they leave. Just like right now. Good example. California, New York, Chicago, Illinois. Huge tax hikes on everybody. Gasoline taxes went up, that affects everybody. Payroll taxes go up, affects everybody. Minimum wage goes up, it affects everybody. So California is now having a problem where people are trying to move out of that state. New York is having the same thing. And they're trying to go to states that are tax friendly. Texas, Arizona, Florida. Those kind of states where there are no state income taxes. You know what's so amazing? The state of Texas just passed a legislation that said they would never have state taxes in Texas. Why would you not want to go to a state where they're not going to tax you on your personal income? Then what she wants to do, we'll get back to Warren, okay? Because it's a mess out there in this nation on taxes. But she wants to raise the Social Security payroll tax. Now that affects every single buddy, every single one of us who work for a wage. Senator Warren proposes a dramatic expansion of the Social Security payroll tax. Currently, the levy only applies to the first $132,900 of an individual's wages income at a rate of 12.4%. She wants to assess that now at 14.8%. 14.8%. So she wants to go up almost 3%. And taxes on all wages and net investment income, over $250,000 for single filers and $400,000 for married couples. So the first $400,000, she wants that 14.8%. She wants to get more money out of you. Okay? Now, Warren campaign is that would cost American taxpayers $4.04 trillion, not billions, not millions, not thousands. 4.04 trillion over a decade. That means that you're going to have to work harder to get back that 2% that she's taking from you, or 4% that she's taking from you, in addition to what's already been taken. So that's more taxes. She wants more of your money because she has a lot of free stuff that she wants to give away. And then she wants to repeal all the tax cuts that you just recently got in your payroll. She wants to repeal that. She wants them to go away. That's how she wants to raise another $1 trillion over a decade, by taking your money away. See, I just don't get it why politicians, especially socialist politicians, want to attack everybody. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to pay to be able to buy your children or family a nice vacation. But no, they want to take more taxes out. Listen, I want to tell you, a few years ago, but this is probably about 3 years ago, and I was driving along in Rome, Italy, and I was heading towards the airport. It was early morning. I was talking to the taxi cab driver. And I said, so how is everything here in your nation? He says, we want a revolution. It's time for a revolution because our taxes are so high. He said, do you realize that we used to be able to take our families out to dinner? We used to be able to go out to dancing maybe. We might be able to see a movie. Now we can't do any of that because taxes, so much taxes are taken out, we don't have anything left to live on for our families. We have no enjoyment any longer because taxes are so high, and that's a socialist nation. So we see this happening, but yet politicians want to push and push and push more taxation, more taxes to be taken out. I was in Denmark, which is also a socialist nation, and the conversation was election time there, and the conversation at that time was, we got to stop giving away all this free stuff. We can no longer sustain it. If you think that people are paying high taxes here, you should go there and see how much they're taxed. Just to buy a car, you have to pay 150% more taxes on it, which makes the taxes more expensive than the car. That's how stupid it is. And not Americans, but in Denmark at that time, they were revolting because of such high taxes. It doesn't work. When you raise the taxes more and more, there's going to be a revolt at some point in time. Just has to be. The other thing that she wants to do is repeal. I'm sorry, not repeal, but she wants to expand the estate tax. Senator Warren proposes lowering the current estate tax exemption from $22 million for a married couple to $7 million. That's a big jump from $22 million to $7 million. Now, a lot of us don't have that anyway. We don't get those kind of estates, but those who do are going to be hit hard. She also proposes raising the tax rate from 40% to a progressive schedule with rates ranging between 55 to 70%. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, $400 billion over a decade. So all of this free stuff is rolling off our backs down to our pocketbook. And out goes the pocketbook and out goes cash into the federal government. The federal government has not run things very well as it is. State governments have not run things very well as it is. Some have done a superb job at it because they've eliminated so much government. But if you take California and New York, they are bombarded. If you look at the retirement pay that California is now paying to former state workers on their retirement plans, they're making over 6 figure. And the California taxpayers are paying for that. Totally unfair to the taxpayer to be paying that huge amount of retirement pay to individuals. And it's even worse when Warren wants to now take more money out of your estate that your parents may have left you, or you're leaving your children. She wants more of that money because she has to pay for all of her free stuff. Remember the word free. Free is not free in government language. Free is equal to more taxes. We want more taxes to give you this free stuff. It doesn't work. And then she wants to hit the corporate world, the business world. She wants to, in her tax proposal, she wants to assess a 7% surtax on corporations with more than $100 million in global net profits. Global net profits. Based on their book income. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, $1 trillion more dollars from taxes. Now, look at what she's doing. She's raising all this money, but not one dime that she's raising goes to pay down the debt. In fact, what it does, it increases the debt even greater. Not one tax that she is raising goes to pay down our national debt. It goes to pay for her free stuff. There's Medicaid for all. There's free education for all. We have a problem here. Big time. Then she wants a lobbying tax. So, Warren, if elected, proposes to create a new tax on companies that spend more than $500 million a year on lobbying. Let me tell you right now, when the company lobbies, they do not get any kind of deduction for that. They don't get any deduction. So there's nothing that's hitting the bottom line except their cash flow. So for a company to lobby right now, it's cash flow. It's not an expense. It's a non-deductible item per the Internal Revenue Code. But she wants to now, if you spend money on lobbying, and lobbying is necessary sometimes, especially when there's a law that's affecting your business. You need to have somebody to go to Washington and speak for you. If it's in an association or a group, it has to be done. Otherwise, you're going to be hit by these taxes and you have no say in it. So Senator Warren has a lot of taxes that she wants to put onto the American people. And just remember, if a company gets more taxed, They have to raise the prices to you. She doesn't realize that. She doesn't care about that. Because she has a political agenda. Not an agenda to help the American people. She has a political agenda to take more taxes and to raise more taxes. She has this socialist mindset that taxes pays for everything that's free. But that doesn't work. Senator Warren also wants to talk about her Medicare contribution. Senator Warren would convert current employer health insurance contributions into a quasi-payroll tax, charging companies a flat amount based on the number of employees they have and the amount they spent on previous employee health insurance contributions. Estimated revenue that she wants to bring in from that is $8.8 trillion over a decade. Again, where does that come out of? It's a payroll tax now. So once again, it hits companies, it hits small businesses. And so everything that they get a higher tax on, they're going to have to raise the price of whatever they're selling you or the service that they're providing you because now they have a tax. They have a higher tax. Wealth tax expansion. Within several short months, Senator Warren is already proposing expanding her wealth tax proposal to help fund Medicare for all. She would raise the wealth tax on billionaires from 3% to 6% annually. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, $1 trillion over a decade. Guess what? She's not going to get that. Do you want to know why? Those that own money are going to leave the country. That's what they do. If you look at other countries where they've raised this wealth tax, they've left the countries to places where it's more tax friendly. We just went through this. With the last tax legislation that went through under President Trump, we had companies that held billions and billions and billions of dollars offshore and were doing more manufacturing offshore because why? It was too taxing to do it here. Taxes were too high, so they went to companies like Ireland. They went to countries where the tax rates were so much lower and so much friendlier, they could literally save more money. Remember, companies answer to his shareholders, the people who own those, who have bought in shares into those companies. So they have a responsibility to provide a profit to the shareholders. Now, a lot of you may be saying, because you might have a socialist mind too, oh, well, that's evil. No, it's not evil. That's why you make investments. If you make an investment through your retirement account, you are expecting to get some revenue back from it. That's why you have retirement accounts. And they're out there making investments for you to be able to retire on. You are not, and I repeat this, like state of California, where their employees get a huge amount of retirement pay based on what? Higher taxes that California taxpayers have to pay for. But you and I, we invest in our 401k plans, and we have them out in funds investing in these companies that are going to bring us a revenue so that we can live on when we retire. That's what capitalism is about. Socialism says tax. Let's tax them more, tax them more. Capitalism says, okay, what creative way can we use to bring more money into our retirement accounts? That's what it's about. It's being independent and self-reliant upon making good decisions on your financial stewardship. It's not about the government coming in and saying, we're going to tax you more because we think we can manage things much better. And what do? They end up wasting trillions and billions of dollars because they don't know what they're doing. Federal government should never have been involved in healthcare because they don't know what they're doing. And we saw that very evident about the years and years and years that they have managed the Veterans Administration and the Veterans Hospitals and have run them into the ground on health care and what they provided their patients. It wasn't until Trump came in and said, we're going to change that things began to slowly turn around. They're still working on it. The other thing she has, and I'm not quite sure if I understand this, is called mark to market. Currently, the United States taxes capital gains when the asset is sold and the gain is realized. Under her Medicare for All proposal, Senator Warren would require individuals to pay taxes annually as the asset appreciates. So-called market-to-market tax system. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, $2 trillion over a decade. So all of you who are daytime traders and you're sitting in your home and you're trading stock, or even if you're in your 401k plans and you're trading stock, she wants that money because she wants it reported annually. She wants it taxed annually. We have a lady who has no understanding of what the American people want. But she's following her socialist political thoughts, which are bad thoughts, and trying to push it and sell it on you because she wants your money. Do you think you're going to get any benefits out of this? Nah. It's going to be wasted. It's going to be spent away. Nothing's going to happen. Healthcare is not going to increase. Medicare is not going to help. Then she wants a financial transaction tax. A financial transaction tax. So Senator Warren's campaign says that she would assess a 0.1% on each sale of stock, bonds, and derivatives in the United States. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, is $800 billion over a decade. You know, this is going to take a while, so sit back, get a cup of coffee, because she has a tax on everything. The next one is a bank tax. Her financing plan includes a new tax on banks that encourages them to take on fewer liabilities and reduce the risk they pose to the financial system. Estimated revenue, according to the Warren campaign, $100 billion over a decade. I'm telling you, I could go on and on. I'm going to stop right here because it just goes on and on. If you want a copy of this, send me a text at 818-252-5682. Give me your email, and I'll be more than happy to send this whole report to you of what she wants and what she's going to tax us on. Let me find a closing, an appropriate closing for this whole thing. Senators Warren's tax and spend. Solution to virtually every problem is raising taxes on Americans and businesses. Her campaign advertises more than $26 trillion in new taxes over the decade, growing federal revenue collections by 63%. 63%. Now, in all of that, in all of her plans, and all of her theories, she's not cutting one single dime of what the government spends. She's not reviewing all of the over expenditures that the government makes every single day. She has no plan to reduce the national debt. Nothing. No plan. Not one single dime, the 63%, not one single dime of it goes to pay down the debt. That $26 trillion in new taxes, not one dime goes to pay down the debt. So understand that under her plan and under her naivety and stupidity, her raising of taxes on the American people is so destructive that if she were to be elected president, the very first day, do you know what would happen? All the stocks and all of the investment that you have in your 401k plans will go down to zero and probably negative. Wall Street will not act very kindly all of the tax assessments that's coming down the line under the Warren administration if she became president. We would see such a havoc in our financial systems that it would do so much damage to you and I and to other businesses that are trying to struggle that our financial system probably would collapse. Maybe not fully collapse, but they would collapse because overly taxed individuals stop spending. They stop buying the televisions. They stop buying school clothing for their children. They stop investing not investing, but taking vacations. They stop investing because they're afraid that there's going to be a hit on them so hard that they will have nothing left for their retirement. So once we have that mentality of the American people based upon such high taxes and so much free stuff that you and I are not going to be able to take advantage of, none of us, that this American economy will be destroyed. This is what a socialist individual does to a nation. Go out and do your research in all the other socialist countries out there and see how well they've done and see how they have failed their people. The EU is going through this right now. The taxes are so high that people are unable to go out and have any kind of a life. But they keep saying tax, tax, tax. We need more taxation. And they keep pointing fingers to the United States. They are so evil because they believe in the capitalist system. Well, let me tell you, America is where it's at the moment. Our strength, our ability to do anything that we want to do because we have a capitalist free market system. And once you start attacking the free market system with taxes, and the banking system with taxes, small businesses with taxes, companies begin to look at their financial positions and say, we can no longer sustain this. We're going to have to lay off people. So I really want you to think about this as you listen to Warren and all of her tax-free nonsense, all of this taxation and free stuff nonsense, that she is doing great harm to the American people. Now, those of you who believe in what she's doing, you had better rethink what's going to happen to America if something like this happens. If you are willing to go and vote politically instead of what is good for America, then I don't have any respect for you. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you are willing to put my life in danger, my small business in danger, I have no respect for you because you want to vote for everything that's free and you don't care who's getting taxed. You don't care who it's going to harm. You don't care that businesses will leave this nation again because of high taxation. We've already gone through this once. We're just now getting companies moving back in and establishing plants and opening up businesses again. And the consumer is spending again. During the Obama administration, because I sat on two Chamber of Commerce in two different cities. One was Orlando, one was Los Angeles. And during the Obama administration, the common theme of the conversation was America is on hold because they didn't know what was going to happen to their small business. They didn't know what new tax or new program or new red tape that the Obama administration was going to place on them, because as you remember, they were talking about higher wages. They were talking about a higher minimum wage for these small businesses. They were talking about health insurance plans for small business that were mandated if you had so many different employees. They were on hold because they could not afford what the government was trying to place on them. That is just common sense of what happens when we're in a country where you have higher taxation. Companies get on hold, and they only spend money if they have extra money to spend. And that was one of the issues, is that banks were no longer lending to small businesses, and they're still really not. Getting a little bit better, but still not to the point where small businesses can depend upon banks. It's a place for businesses to use to put their cash in and to pay bills with and to pay payroll with. That's what banks are used for now. When you have a person like Elizabeth Warren, who is a nutcase when it comes to the economics of this country. She's a nutcase because she wants to do more damage upon you and me. We cannot sustain any more high taxes. I don't hear one of these Democratic candidates coming to me and saying, okay, we are going to cut this program out, we're going to cut that program out, that will save us money. Don't hear anybody saying that. Instead, what they're all saying is we want to raise taxes and we want to give you free stuff, which we can never ever get, because free stuff costs me. It costs you in taxation. I would much rather have control over my own money, making my own decisions. I want to be a good steward of my money. And the only way I know how to do that is to get government off my back. Get Elizabeth Warren off my back. Let her go beat her tom-toms in Boston. Just let her go there. Just let her stay there for a while. She should not even be in public office, because what she wants to do is attack our livelihoods every single day. So let her go and be an Indian someplace, and let her be by herself. But the problem is, she wants to be involved in your life and my life through more and more taxes, through more and more regulations, and then the list goes on and on. This is not the right person that we need. This is a time where America needs to look at what we're spending and start analyzing. I want a seat at the table. As a taxpayer, I want a seat at the table, and I want to know how my money is being spent, and I want to know how you're going to save me more tax dollars. But the government doesn't want us at that table. They want people like Elizabeth Warren does not want us at her table. She doesn't want us there. Because we will ask the right questions on, if we did this, we could save trillions of dollars, and she would probably come back and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just a citizen. You're not a senator like me, who knows how good taxes are. I'm a senator. I know this stuff. And all this free stuff is good for America. And Americans will pay for it. No. I want to know what you're going to cut, how you're going to save me money. I don't want to know, and I'm concerned about an individual like Elizabeth Warren who wants to raise more and more taxes on you and me. This does not make any sense. It's insane to believe in this type of political program that affects billions and billions of our dollars going into taxation for a government that can't run itself, that is corrupt within, that doesn't care about how they spend American taxpayers. I think that's enough. Again, if you want to get a copy of this full report, just send me a text at 818-252-5682 and tell me what you want. Give me your email address and I'll send it to you. Oh, I can probably even attach it to the text. To tell you the truth, I can attach it to the text. We'll get it to you if you want it. Everybody go out and really think about what I've said. We can no longer live in a high-tax society, a high-tax country. We need some results out of Washington. And we need some results that says, okay, Elizabeth Warren, your ideas do not work. You've got to leave office because this is insane. This is Mike Lodge for the WBT. Everyone go out and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.